Welcome all to this presentation. My name is Luca Mannella and I'm a member of the Elite Research Group from Politecnico di Torino. Today I'm here to present you the work of my colleagues and I, which is entitled Perception of Security Issues in the Development of Cloud-IoT Systems by a Novice Programmer. So let's start with the outline of this presentation. We will have a quick introduction. Then I will present you the architecture of our use case, and I will explain you the security analysis that we executed on Amazon Web Services. Then we will see the outcome of the survey related to the developer's perspective on AWS security, and in the end we will summarize and discuss about the results. So let's start from our research question. Is a Cloud IoT platform secure when it's used by a novice IoT programmer? It is easy to understand that a Cloud IoT platform is a cloud platform able to manage IoT devices. But what is a novice IoT programmer? From our perspective, is a software developer that had never programmed a full working and ready for production IoT system. So it is not novice to programming, but it is a developer novice to the IoT world. Then we will have to choose a platform, an attractive platform for novice IoT programmer. And our choice went to Amazon Web Services. This because it's a very famous and widespread platform, is one of the most complete cloud platform, and provides services on demand. That is a very interesting feature for a novice programmer. So, according to all these characteristics, it is quite probable that a novice IoT programmer starts from AWS for developing a Cloud IoT application. Let's consider now the use case architecture. This is an example of a Cloud IoT architecture with an AWS backend. We can see that this kind of architecture has some sensing devices, some acting devices, some front-end devices, and of course the AWS backend. On the backend, we have a module that manages the devices, we have a module related to storing the data on a database, and we have some APIs that are used from the front-end devices. According to the state of the art, we have highlighted these common attack points. So, starting from the backend, we could have an attack on the developed code inside the AWS Lambda function and something on the database, in our case, a Amazon DynamoDB database. We should consider also attacks on front-end devices, but we will not consider them in this analysis because they are out of the scope of this analysis, more focused on cloud platform. Then we could have attacks on the data flows between the sensor and the backend and the actuators, and between the API's gateway and the front-end devices. Let's see now what Amazon does to protect the highlighted points. So regarding the data flow protection, we are aware that data could be eavesdropped, tampered with, and forged. But fortunately, AWS does not allow connection with its backend without encryption. Regarding instead the database protection, the requests to the database must contain a hash signature, and furthermore, DynamoDB is accessible only via TLS endpoints, so we can conclude that data in transit are protected. Indeed, by default, DynamoDB data are ciphered at rest. So we have also data protection at rest. Furthermore, we have the possibility to configure some fine-grained access control policies using IEM account. What is this kind of account? It's one of the two different types of account offered by AWS. AWS offers the traditional root user, the classical account that you can find in any other application, and this identity and access management account. This kind of account is created by the root user and has customizable privileges. So it's very useful for cloud application like AWS. Regarding the weaknesses in Amazon policies, we notice that users are not forced to create IEM accounts. And we notice also that the password policy is vulnerable to dictionary attacks. For instance, even if AWS required to create a password with capital letter, digits, special characters, and something like that, we notice that a password like Amazon WS, written in this way with a 0 and 3 capital letters, is perfectly fine. But this kind of password is easy to guess with a dictionary attack. So let's discuss now the outcome of the survey that we assigned to some Novice IoT developers. We surveyed a small group of developers from a consulting engineering company in Italy. They were starting their first Cloud IoT professional project and they have to work on AWS for the first time. They had just followed a short Cloud IoT course gave by our research group, and they have to deliver a final project. This final project was aligned, of course, with the architecture I presented you before. In the end of the course, we asked them to fulfill a survey and we collected 6 out of 9 answers. Unfortunately, all the attendees were males, so we were not able to collect also the female perspective on this topic. Regarding the developer's perception, we can say that they feel to be inexperienced about cybersecurity. We can say also that no one thinks that security is completely a duty of Amazon, and even if all think the architecture could include security issues, no one acted to mitigate the security problem in his mind. Regarding some additional information about the perception of the developer, we noticed that from their perspective the most secure point is the AWS DynamoDB database. Meanwhile, the less secure points are the data flows between the backend and the sensor and the actuators at the same level. Furthermore, from their point of view, the most critical points in case an attack succeeds are, in order of relevance, the data flows to the actuators, the backend code developed on AWS Lambda, and the data flows from the sensor to the backend. In their mind, the worst possible consequences are cyber-physical attacks, both against people and machines, or a data breach. Regarding instead the security best practices, we noticed that they all created strong passwords because Amazon enforced it, but unfortunately we did not collect these passwords, so we are not sure if these kind of passwords are safe against a dictionary attack or not. We notice also that only 1 out of 6 create IAM account, but 2 out of 5 specified at least that they should have created one, but they didn't. 4 out of 6 did not check if they were using TLS or not for transmitting data, and 5 out of 6 did not check if the data at rest are encrypted or not. In the end, no one think about using an additional service to improve the security, like for instance AWS IoT Device Defender. So to conclude, we can say that even professional does not feel comfortable in cybersecurity. In fact, remember that they are novice in IoT and not novice programmer at all. We can also say that knowing that security is important is not enough to act, even if you think that it is entirely your responsibility. In fact, remember that 2 out of 6 answered security is a responsibility of the developer, and all thought the architecture could be insecure, but no one acted to mitigate the problem. Fortunately, we can say that AWS is quite able to compensate for the lack of knowledge of the novice developer involved in the study, so we can say that it is a good choice for implementing a secure Cloud IoT solution even for a novice programmer. We would like only to give 2 suggestions to AWS. The first one is forcing users to create at least one IAM account, and the second one is having a password policy that is resistant at least against basic dictionary attacks. Regarding our future work, we are interested in having a survey on a larger sample of novice IoT programmers and have a survey more inclusive. We are also interested in analyze other specific aspects of such an architecture, like for instance Arduino devices that could work as sensing or acting device if properly configured. And in the end, our final goal is to provide best practices and tools for developing more reliable IoT systems. So that's all from my side. I would like to thank you for your kind attention. And if you have any kind of question, you can write to us without any problem. Thank you.